Hello all. This is the first episode of the Double A Show. I'm Arvind.
I'm Ashwin.
This show is all about sports.
We update, analyze the sports that take place over the week. Okay, so let's begin with cricket. India's tour of England. So Arvind, what do you think of England's performance after the poor T20 performance?
Yeah, absolutely. England's performance has been phenomenal. They have dominated the series after the 1-0 loss. They have showed how number one team plays.
Right.
And they have dominated us, and they have outplayed us in all their departments.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing you need to take from the series is missing Bhuvi and Bumrah.
Bumrah main.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. And one more thing to add on that, spinners, when the wicket was turning, they were very good, as we have seen in T20 series and first one day, where Kuldeep has got 6 wickets.
Mhm.
But when there is nothing for
The
spinners, they were struggling.
Correct.
And so, what do you think? What is the biggest difference between both the teams?
I mean, if you take the one-day series, clearly it was Joe Root's performance, especially after he had a very rough T20 series and he got dropped in the last one. For him to come and score 200s,
Yeah.
and he failed the first ODI too. So getting those 200s, was a clear match winner for me because he took the match away from India. Apart from the opening performance of Bairstow and Roy, I think Joe Root's performance was very, very important. Okay. So now let's look at Virat Kohli, right? His performance especially. It's clear, easy to say that phenomenal player, he did well. But is that past performance in England hampering him, that he's not made runs in the past? So is that playing in his head where he's not able to go and play out his original game?
No, I don't think something is going in his hand. He's a fighter. If you see, he has scored almost more than 150 runs in this series.
Correct.
Almost 200 in a 3-match series. So he's good. He's playing good shots. He's back in form, kind of thing. But he's not that player who is finishing matches.
Yeah.
He couldn't finish one chase, and he's not getting triple-digit score. And he's getting, and on top of that, he's getting out to spinners.
Yeah, but let's not forget the last ODI was a brilliant ball. But Moeen Ali, again.
And if you remember, few months back in IPL, he's getting out to part-timers like Nitish Rana.
Nitish Rana, I don't think I'll get out to him, honestly.
Yeah.
So, jokes apart. So now let's jump into MS Dhoni's performance. 10,000 runs by wicketkeeper. Unbelievable. Before you answer that, let's jump into, I need another question to which I prefer you answer both together. So next one is his performance as a finisher. It's not the same. Is he struggling? So what's your take on both of these?
So 10,000 runs by MS. So he comes in the position where it's very hard to hit runs, and he got 10,000 runs, which is a very great thing. Salute to MS Dhoni. And I think there are not many wicket keepers who have done this feat by scoring 10,000 runs. I think one more is Sangakkara.
Yeah, but Sangakkara comes much up the order, right? So he has more time to play.
Yeah, that's what. So Dhoni comes maybe after 5
He's
wickets.
number 6, 7. Sometimes he varies his positions.
Yeah,
that way.
So, and one, as you asked the second question about his finishing skills, that has been the discussion from past few years. People want to retire. People want him to retire, and that sort of things. But I think if you see this IPL, he is back in form. He's like we saw old Dhoni.
Right.
But in this one day series, if you see, first one day he couldn't get much of chance. I think he didn't bat. Second one day, that was expected from him because the wickets were tumbling, and he need to pick up the run rate. So he started hitting, and in that process he got out. He couldn't have done much. Third one day, he did what was expected by him. If the top order doesn't perform, and if you start questioning MS Dhoni, he's not the only one who is failing. So I don't think that's right on.
Pretty harsh on him. Pretty
Yeah.
harsh on him. Anything.
So
especially he's come with his white beard now also. So
which I don't like. It's not looking good on him.
So yeah.
So the next thing I want to talk about is Virat Kohli's captaincy. So what do you want to say about that?
We all know what a phenomenal captain he is, and he faced his first bilateral series loss as a captain. So, no question about his captaincy, but some of his decisions really shocked me, especially dropping Kuldeep Yadav in the last T20 and KL Rahul in the last ODI. Kuldeep again was our best bowler, India's best bowler during that time where he did really well in the first T20. Maybe the last T20 was a little flatter wicket, probably was dropped that one, but KL Rahul getting dropped in the third ODI. Kinda did not understand that. They said it was a strategical change. How would you explain that to me? Like, what is that?
Yeah, I thought, if it would have been a strategical change, I think he should have, Raina should have dropped and KL should still be there in the team.
Correct.
So instead of Raina, there should be Dinesh Karthik.
Correct.
But dropping KL Rahul is a big, it's very harsh on him because he has got phenomenal.
And what form he's been in, especially IPL and the
form,
T20 first match.
Yeah.
So, and only reason what I could think of is maybe Raina could bowl in some overs, but how many overs did he bowl?
I don't think that would have been.
Yeah, it could have been effective, but it's really a difficult and different decision. Yeah. So the next thing what we want to look at is the Test series.
Yeah.
Right, the series which we all are looking forward to, especially after India struggled so far. The few things which we can look at, one of it is the positives and negatives of both the sides. Let's get into England's positives now. So, what do you think are England's positives?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest positive for England team would be they have better record versus India in England. So, keeping that aside, the biggest positive for them is Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad. I think they would trouble Indian batsmen with their pace and swing. If you see Jimmy Anderson, he has troubled Kohli in the past. So, I hope he doesn't this time, but he would, because he is such a good bowler. And one more thing is Joe Root getting into the form, which is the biggest positive for them again. So that's it. These are the positive for England team.
Right.
And so let's get into England's weakness. So what do you think? What would be their weakness?
Alistair Cook's form is one of the things which I think is going to be a problem, because he's not done really well in the recent years, especially because I think he's hit one double century off late with Australia. After that, he's had an up and down performance. So his form will be a major concern. Even the middle order is very inexperienced. Let's not forget that. Even though they have a Joe Root, he may be in form right now, and a Butler.
Yeah.
Ben Stokes is struggling, so he's not the same Ben Stokes what we've seen of. And also I won't say they're missing a third seamer. They don't have that third seamer who could be really deadly. Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson, of course, are brilliant, but apart from that, they don't have an experienced third seamer who could create a havoc for the team. So this could be a probably negative point for them.
Yeah.
Now that's England. Now let's go into India's positives.
So I think almost all Indian batsmen are in good form.
Very true.
Yeah, I think Virat Kohli would be looking to perform well in England.
Correct.
That would be one of the biggest positive. And KL Rahul, Shikhar Dhawan, Vijay has good record. Shikhar Dhawan he's in good form, and KL Rahul and Murali Vijay has good record overseas. And also Ajinkya Rahane, he always performed mostly in abroad. And the biggest positive would be, I think, Ishant Sharma playing county and Pujara playing county.
But let's not forget, Pujara has not been very successful in the county.
Yeah, but I think playing in the county would be, at least he would say how the conditions are to the Indian team. And so one more thing is, we have this pace bowling all-rounder in Hardik Pandya. I think he would get few wickets and get few runs. Mm-hmm. He also got good. He also had a better performance in South Africa. And yeah, these are the positives which Indian team has. So what do you think? What would be the Indian team's weakness?
The main weakness in the seaming area, I would say, is without Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Jasprit Bumrah. We are pretty crippled, because we saw that in the one-day series, because we missed Bumrah towards a death. So that could affect us a little bit. And also, Bhuvi has experience taking 6 wickets at, I think, Lords, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a little disappointment, and without him will be a problem. Also, another concern I have is, what combination are we going? Are we going with 2 spinners, or are we going with a single spinner? That is always a question mark. I don't know whether Ashwin's not been very successful abroad. So it's all too many questions which have to be answered. So that is something which I'm not too sure about. So that still will be a negative for me.
Yeah, you're right. But I think if you ask me, Kohli would prefer only Ashwin
Mm.
because we have seen in South Africa, even in South Africa, he took
Yes.
only Ashwin.
Correct.
So I think he would go with one spinner and rather than two spinners. Yeah,
That's true.
that's it.
Let's go. So, well, that clearly answered our positives and negatives.
Yeah.
So now, your test pick for the series.
So my pick would be in the opener slots. It would be Murli Vijay and KL Rahul because Murli Vijay has good record and he also performed well in last England series. Got 199 in Lords. He missed century though. And KL Rahul, he has been in form a whole 2018. He had good IPL and he also played well in the shorter format in this England series. I think I would be looking forward that KL Rahul would get more chance in this test series. And third and fourth is same Pujara and Kohli. And I think fifth would be Ajinkya Rahane and sixth is Dinesh Karthik. I don't think they would try to take Rishabh Pant as
Inexperience, of
as
course.
he's
yeah.
inexperienced. And I think next it would be Hardik Pandya and Ashwin. Then it's Umesh, Shami and Ishant, whatever it is, they can shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So what do you think? What would be your 11? Playing
Pretty
11?
much similar, definitely, but only small change I would add is probably a Shikhar Dhawan over KL Rahul. That's clearly because Shikhar Dhawan has this ability to take this match away from the opposition, and Kohli has preferred Shikhar Dhawan all the time, most of the time if you see that. So looking at that aspect, I feel Shikhar Dhawan would be would get the nod for the test series. Also, I felt our batting is a little strong in the middle order with Dinesh Karthik coming into play as a wicketkeeper, who's in phenomenal form right now. So I think that would help us a lot also over there.
Yeah, if we remember, I think Bumrah would be fit in the third test.
Third
So
test,
there might be he might be coming in and Shami might go out. So let's look
that
at
shuffling will happen,
Yeah,
but
and-
let's hope. Let's just hope for
And
the best. So,
before wrapping up about India England, so what is your prediction?
I would want India to win definitely, but I still would put England because of this experience and the past results. I would say 2-1 to England and drawing the other two tests. What about you?
I think as it is a 5-test series, I think 3 to India.
3-2 India.
Yeah.
So you
I think-
result
I'm
every
being
match.
a bit optimistic,
Okay,
but yes,
that would be awesome if that happens in an England
Yeah.
series, So let's hope for the best. Okay, so there we go. We wrap up that edition of India and England, India tour of England. So now let's jump into South Africa tour of Sri Lanka.
So,
So-
what do you think about South Africa's performance in Sri Lanka?
No, I'm shocker. It's really shocking right now what's been happening. The spinners are just toying with South Africa right now. But let's forget South Africa's negative performance. Let's talk about Keshav Maharaj. 9 wickets. Not many South African bowlers have done that. And a spinner to come and do that is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't think any spinner would from like out of subcontinent.
Yes.
I would have never expected that
Yeah.
such a good performance.
Right.
Yeah, so good for South Africa in upcoming future series that they have got a spinner because it was the biggest problem for them.
That's
But still, his performance is not being
not being backed up by anyone, they're not even able to score 150, which is really surprising with such a good batting lineup. But that's always been the case, hasn't it been? For South Africa with spinners, and Sri Lanka have always been deadly at home. So, good for Sri Lanka as they're doing well.
So let's see how South Africa would would go ahead in this series.
Right.
And
doesn't look positive so far.
Yeah, so-
Definitely the test series is
but
out
let's
of the
hope
hand.
South Africa would
Will
pull
come
back things.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's it from the South Africa series.
Okay, so very quickly now let's jump into the last edition in our cricket segment, which is Pakistan versus Zimbabwe. Not surprising where Pakistan's winning the series, but anything you want to take away from that?
Yeah, two things. This young Pakistan team is they're performing more than expected from them. And one thing I'm surprised, Pakistan scoring 300 plus runs.
Which never happens much.
Yeah. Like from past maybe 5 years, 300 is a nightmare for Pakistan team.
Yeah, because they always depend on their bowlers. If you
Yeah, their bowling unit has been good.
see. Right.
Have been good. But batting,
Has been a question.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
let's not look at these youngsters like Fakhar Zaman, especially he debuted during the Champions Trophy, and and he's just been performing since then, scoring more than 200 runs and being the only Pakistani player to have those many runs is not a joke.
yeah.
Apart from him, also about the other youngsters like
Imamul Haq and
Babar Azam.
Babar Azam.
you
Yeah,
know,
they have
so-
been consistent
and they've taken cricket to another level for the Pakistanis. Yeah.
So good for Pakistan is cricket in the future. So what do you think they will perform or upset big teams like?
Well, they are capable of. They're
Yeah.
capable of doing it. What they did in Champions
I know
Trophy.
they are big team as well. I shouldn't say that, but,
Yeah, but well,
but still
again,
India would win the first match.
that always happens in the
Yeah.
World Cup. Are they playing against each other?
Yeah, the first match is.
Okay, so well, that's a result for us right there. But it's good to see them do well with all youngsters and.
Let's hope best for the Pakistani cricket and let's wrap. Our
Let's wrap up our
section
cricket segment right now.
from- yeah. So let's talk about the Wimbledon finals, which happened earlier in this week. So, being a tennis player, so what is your take on Kerber winning and Djokovic winning his 13th title?
So let's jump into the women's final real quick. Great to see Kerber win that. She was brilliant, of course, in the final, convincing win against Serena. But let's recognize Serena a little bit. Coming back after a kid, definitely not possible. Have you heard of any players like that?
No.
Oh, so that's an unbelievable achievement for her to come and do that. So definitely she's going to win more slams, Serena. But good for Kerber, who played to a plan. She made sure Serena was on the run. She made her uncomfortable most of the points. So that was good to see. Now, whereas Djokovic winning the 13th slam, I'm the happiest person. I'm a Djokovic fan. I know you're not.
Yeah, because Nadal, I'm a big Nadal fan, so. But it's okay, good on Djokovic.
Yeah, and it was a good semi-final. I think that was basically the
Yeah,
final which
final,
decided
yeah.
everything. And the final, of course, Kevin Anderson was a little fatigued after a very tough one with Isner and Federer. So it was pretty tough. So it was good to see Djokovic
Yeah.
get back.
So we wrap up the tennis section. I want to ask you two questions. The question one: what do you think? Djokovic is back. Before you answer this, let me ask you the second question as well. What do you think? Kevin Anderson would upset all the big stars?
Let me answer the second one for you, Arvind. See, Kevin Anderson is 32 years now. I won't say he's at the fag end of his career, but there are a lot of youngsters who are right after him as well. But I wish to see him in the top 10, but I don't think on a consistent basis he will be able to beat Federer, Djokovic and Nadal. He may beat them once in a while, but not on a consistent basis. Now let's get to your first question, whether Djokovic is back. I can confidently say yes, because look, the way he's come in the Wimbledon when he was not the favourite at all. So clearly it looks like he's almost there. Definitely a few matches here and there, and I would see he's a clear favourite for the US Open as well. Also, another thing I would like to add is we are probably going to see a Djokovic-Nadal rivalry resuming once again. So just looking forward to it.
So what do you think? What about Federer? What do you think he's done?
I won't say he's done. He'll still be around there.
Yeah.
But definitely if Djokovic and Nadal hit their peak, it would be a little difficult for Federer to get there because they are considerably younger compared to him. So possibly that's one of the reasons.
So
That, I think, wraps up our tennis Wimbledon section as well. So now finally let's jump into our FIFA section.
FIFA World Cup section.
Yeah, a World Cup which saw a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
Things definitely I never used to follow a lot of soccer, but I did follow a lot this time, and I was also really shocked with some of the results. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think absolutely. First, starting, I thought this is a underdogs World Cup because who would have ever thought defending champions Germany will be knocked out by
Surprising.
South Korea in the first round,
Yeah.
and that was a big shocker.
And apart from that, we had a lot of new teams which were really impressive, like say South Korea, just now you mentioned, and Japan. They were
Yeah,
brilliant.
Japan has actually broke the record. They are the first Asian team to beat a South American team.
Unbelievable, yeah, and that's great. I mean, also, performance of France was brilliant, even though they didn't start really well. They struggled with Australia, and no one expected them to go this far, but they were very clinical. Your thoughts and your views?
Actually, France on paper was the strongest team. They had all the stars from all the leagues where they play.
Right.
So, as they were expected to reach semi-finals, or maybe winning the World Cup.
Right.
But the start looked that they wouldn't. But finally, they
did.
got the World Cup.
And anything on Croatia?
Yeah, Croatia actually they played very well. No one would have expected Croatia playing a final. The credit goes to all the players. They have put everything on the field, and even the manager. Yeah.
So
That's it. So before wrapping up our episode 1, do you want to add more for our viewers?
Yeah, definitely. To all our viewers, since this is our first episode, and we are open to feedback, so please comment, share your views. Apart from that, any topic you want us to talk about and what you're concerned about, please feel free to drop us a comment on it. We are sports lovers and we are here for you, so we are more than happy to address that issue.
Yeah. Before ending this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you.